So basically, this was a post on Reddit. A mom was at her son's karate class after the World Cup, and a lot of the moms were joking about how some 16-year-old rotted his brain and won $3 million, how it was such a waste of time, and how he's probably half brain dead due to playing so much Fortnite. And she stood up and was, genuinely pissed, apparently, and told him that she thought it was fantastic that he stuck to his dream and made it a reality. And she also got real snarky with them. This is my favorite part, and asked them how much time they put towards their careers. And now, the rest is basically her saying none of them want to talk to her, but she wanted to just, put out a message of support there, saying that those people were incorrect and that if you're following your dream and your passion, it's always a good thing to do. And again, this kind of brings us back to so there's a couple different things going on here. Like, one, there's still the stigma, right? There's still that stigmatization that I think we're slowly starting to break, but people, especially older people, just don't think video games are a good use of your time. And, sometimes that's true. Everybody's different, right? But sometimes they can be a phenomenal use of your time. You can hang out with your friends. You can make new friends. I have friends from all over North America that I met through gaming. And if it wasn't for gaming, I wouldn't have them. So I feel like it's enriched my life, right? And I know you, with how much esports stuff you've done, you probably feel the exact same way. Like, you have contacts in states and different countries, and that you wouldn't know those people if it wasn't for this, right? Like, even us, I wouldn't know you.
Nope.
You live in Philly. I live in Toronto. But
there's no way.
Yeah, there's literally a 0% chance we would know each other. Yet through gaming, we can become friends. It's fantastic. So there's that stigma that still needs to be broken, that some people are snotty about. But I think what this post really spoke to me about, and what I kind of want to echo this mom's point, is almost like a jealousy or like an anger. Like, I think a lot of people, when they see other people succeeding at something they love, it makes them question their entire life. Because a lot of people will go a safe road, right? Like, oh, I could do this thing that I like to do, but I don't know how that's going to fare out for me. I don't know how that'll work. So let me go with this safe alternative here. And then when you see somebody make it doing what they love to do, it almost makes you question your original decision. Like, shit, did I make the wrong call? Should I have gone after what I wanted to go after instead of, going after, just playing it safe the whole time? Because if you play it safe, you can't lose, but it's really, really, really hard to win, right? Like, it's really, really hard. You need to have, you need to kind of put yourself out there a little bit. And I think a lot of people, when they see somebody do that, especially older people who have probably told their kids not to play video games. So now they feel a little bit of guilt, being like, shit, I guess this is an actual career path. Plus, they probably have made some of those safe versus, chasing your dream decisions in their own lives. It just culminates in all this anger and resentment.
It is. It's a lot of confusion too, because they see something like that and it goes against everything that their parents ever taught them, or that they were telling their kids. I mean, at least for the most part, for parents that, even go to the route of taking away the entire console or breaking it or selling it. It's a shame for kids that live in such strict households like that. And to find out and hear that there's a kid that won $3 million playing a video game that most 99% chance that your kid has played, and I mean, yeah, it's going to create just a massive, just this cocktail of emotions of confusion and anger and definitely jealousy, because they'll think, my freaking kid plays that all day long. Why don't I have $3 million? But right there, those are the people that react that way. The people that react like the person that lady's talking about in that post, that Reddit post. Those are the people that already have that stigma in their head, that have had that their whole life, that aren't open-minded either. And it's, you can already tell, if there was a parent that was someone that was supportive of you playing games, or didn't mind that you played games, or even occasionally played them with you, they would never hear the news about this Fortnite World Cup event and react negatively. They would be surprised, astonished, shocked, wanting to know more. So you already know that, there's going to be a big group of people that are going to respond this way, because it's still starting to break through those ceilings, or break the ice with all these people. It's still reaching the outer portions of the mainstream itself. So you're bound to get a lot of people like this, but I didn't really I kind of wish I had the hindsight or the foresight for this originally, but man, the Fort the Fortnite World Cup itself, this whole past weekend, this is like a big shift, like I think a big pivotal shift now in esports that I didn't really foresee, even though I knew how big the prize pool was going to be. Yeah, Dota has the international and it's got an enormous prize pool this year as well, over 30 million, I believe. But Dota is a very, very popular title in a lot of different countries, not so popular as well as in the mainstream of America, of the United States. So when you have a game like Fortnite now getting this put out there into the public with a prize level this much, you're going to have, I think, now a lot more parents supporting their kids, a lot more endemic sponsors that haven't jumped in yet. This is a big shift that I think was going to happen eventually, but this was the event that it was going to happen with. And I mean, right now, Fortnite, it was the best game it could have happened with because it's the most notable game at the moment in the world. So especially with parents, you know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. I've been asked, like, because I'm, sadly, I'm getting to the age where some people that I'm acquaintances with or something have kids, and I get asked about Fortnite. Like, so what's this Fortnite thing? Can I let my kid play it? Is it violent?
Do they look at you though and be like, "Why you play that game my kid plays all day?"
No, these people know I'm weird. They know I like playing video games. I've been doing this since I was like 14, right? This has been my life since forever. So most people, when they're talking to me about it, understand what's going on here. But and honestly, like, you see this reaction in like other things too, right? It's not just with esports and gaming, but as a general rule, guys, if somebody reacts like that around something that you're passionate about, they're just a shitty human being. Like, that's just all there is to it. Like, you shouldn't ever, like, put down something that somebody's super into. Like, at least you should try and figure out why. And the rotting your brain argument, I mean, that just shows literally zero knowledge of video games, because especially competitive multiplayer games, like, they've shown that those are actually really good. And there's been lots of studies that have shown this sort of stuff, that they're actually really, really good for you. Like, they force you to think fast, think critically about what's going on in the game. They force you to communicate a lot of the time. It's not that guy sitting by himself, not talking to anybody. Like, that's, World of Warcraft in 2002 kind of deal. Like that, we're so far past that. And even that was a very social game. Like, a lot of people made great friends on World of Warcraft. So it's like, even that was a misnomer. But like, there were a lot of people who played it kind of solo, I guess, and that's where a lot of these stereotypes came from. But Fortnite's not that way at all. And video games today, esports especially, are just not that way. The communities become super, even if it's a game like Fortnite where there's a solo competition, those guys who are the top competitors all become great friends. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. If you're a parent, encourage your kids to play some of these games if they like them, because they'll make great friends and they'll thank you for it later. They won't resent you.
And I love football, but your kid doesn't have to smash their head over and over into other kids. I mean, just saying. Sadly, I think the NFL is going to have a lot of trouble getting new players after a certain point.
Oh yeah,
because parents are not going to let their kids play play certain contact sports and mom, hey, I want to start playing football. Or, hey, I want to play baseball. Or, I want to skateboard. I want to do whatever other activity they might want to do. Costs money for equipment. Most people already have a computer. Fortnite's free. So, I mean, there's so many ways that it undercuts most recreationals that, yeah, there's parents that are probably going to want to learn a hell of a lot more. And it's crazy when I talk to people, even nowadays, people that I know very well, and this could be really good friends, coworkers, family members, and it might come up in conversation, the word Twitch, or the idea of what Twitch is, and just streaming in general, and they'll ask, what's Twitch? They've never heard of it in their life, and I'm like, wow. Oh man! All right, I got a treat for you, because you always get like different reaction. It's so great when you show them the homepage and how it's laid out and the viewers, and it's like it's a Netflix for video games, and anybody can start streaming, and it's like you can make such crazy get a crazy brand and following behind it. I mean, there's I think with everybody, with these types of adults that might react this way when it comes to big tournaments and gaming just taking over the mainstream. I think baby steps can help anybody when it comes to a negative stigma. It can always be done with baby steps. When they're in a bubble all day and their friends are just winos as well, and they only complain about stuff that's on Fox News. When they see, hey, Fortnite player wins $3 million, of course they're gonna go and freak out. You know what I mean? Like if they might learn subtly about how like these things are actually adapting and how they've grown into this, rather than them just seeing a headline, like, man, yeah, I would imagine some parents might have thought that they were watching like oh, the Onion now has a news network on our station. That's crazy. They probably didn't even believe it at first.
Yeah, well, it's definitely hard to believe. I mean, he won more money than Tiger Woods ever won from the Masters. It's even hard for me to, which is like that's hard for us to believe. Became the highest paid like individual from one competition, I think, across anything ever, which is just like how what? It's hard to wrap your head around.